99.9 Punk World Radio FM. You already know what time it is. And right here, we are actually joined by a phenomenal band. They're signed to a phenomenal record label. They're signed to SBAM Records. We got Fat by the Gallon right here live on the radio. Guys, how are you doing tonight?
Good, man. How are you? Good. Thanks for having us.
Oh, thank you guys for a bit of your time. I will say, a huge fan of what you guys are doing. You guys are absolutely tearing up the punk rock scene, man. So when I heard your music, it was a no-brainer to try and get you guys on the radio. So I gotta say, thank you for your time, man, because at the end of the day, you're giving me your time. So thank you.
No, man, super pumped. Thanks for having us on.
But I know you guys are busy individuals, and of course, I'm not going to take you away from your Sunday night too long, but I got to take you back to the beginning of this phenomenal band and ask, like, how did you three actually come together to form one of the biggest and best up-and-coming punk rock bands of all time?
Man, that's a really long story. It dates back. This band started in 2002, yeah, it's been through a lot of different morphs, but this is like, how should I answer that? We ended up, Tony came in first.
Butler's been doing it for a while, at least, what did we come up on?
22 years.
22 years. So he's been in the band about 22 years, and then Tony and I had previously kind of still played another punk band, kind of just like Weekend Warrior stuff, and Tony wound up joining the band 7 years ago?
Sounds right.
About 7 years ago. And then I joined the band probably about 4.5, maybe 5 years ago now, that it's been like this lineup. And we always kind of joke about it that Cutler just kind of really stole like a rhythm section from another punk band.
I did, and I loved it. Wouldn't change it.
And I have to ask, how did you guys get the name Fat by the Gallon? Because your name is so unique, but it's so catchy, man.
I can tell you why we kept it whenever we reformed, because we couldn't find anything that we came up with that wasn't taken somewhere else. Everything is taken, but no, Fat by the Gallon, that was something that came up in 8th grade. Just listening to a lot of Fat Record stuff, and wanted to be in a punk rock band, and we just came up with Fat by the Gallon. That we get asked, like, oh yeah, that's for, whatever. And I'm like, totally, if that's how you want to interpret it, sure.
A cool funny story, there was Sam King from Get Dead. We were talking to Sam, where were we, Rolo? I can't remember. We were somewhere in California, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like, I've heard of that band. I was like, "Oh, that's cool, man. You've heard of the band?" He was like, "But I thought you guys were like a Fat Records cover band."
That was in Europe.
But that was another. That was what I'm saying. It happened multiple times. Yeah. We've had a couple of people always say that. They're like, "Oh, we thought you were like a Fat Records cover band, like of just all the bands or something, Yeah, but I believe it was Program Skate. I want to say.
What?
Where we were at? We were at Program Skate, the skate shop.
Oh, I was like,
yeah.
I thought
that's happened a few times.
I like the name Cowboy Dragons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, before I joined the band, they were thinking about changing the name, and I think the most popular name that they came to was Cowboy Dragons.
That'd been sweet.
And so I think that's where we're like, we'll just keep Fat by the Gallon.
It might be a record or like an EP at some point, not a single.
Yeah.
No. Sorry.
You guys could do like one album as Cowboy Dragons, kind of like how Sum 41, did like one song as like a metal band, Like you guys could do something like that and just kind of pay for pleasure. Dip your toe in the water a little bit,
Chris Gaines.
We're down. Chris Gaines.
Because I don't know, man. I think Cowboy Dragons would be a killer metal band name, dude. Just like Cowboy Dragons,
So is it like a cowboy that rides dragons, or is it a dragon with like a cowboy hat and like 6-shooters? That's the real question.
I don't know, man. I think a cowboy riding a dragon, man. It's either badass or it's an acid trip. It's either one.
Absolutely.
But also, September 15th, 2016, you guys actually released the amazing 6-track EP titled Drunk and Despondent. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us the story behind this earlier released EP.
Drunk and Despondent, yeah. So again, one of the lineup changes that we had. We were originally a 3-piece, and our guitarist moved to Seattle. And then, so I moved to bass, or no, I moved from bass to guitar, brought Tony on, and Colton came on. And so
me and Chris were listening to Colton's songs one day. We've been playing them, and we're listening, and we were like, Jesus Christ, this guy's dark. Like, he's got problems, man. We hit him up, and we're like, Colton, are you okay? Because every single one of your songs is so sad sounding.
they were great.
And so we named the album after the kind of the tone of the
Drunk and
songs.
Despondent.
Drunk and Despondent.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I love the album cover as well. Just empty beer cases and broken beer bottles just scattered across an empty highway.
It speaks for those times. So at that time, for sure.
Honestly, man, I gotta say it's killer, but it's a lot of alcohol abuse is what I see.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We toned it down a lot.
We used to be functioning alcoholics. Now it's just like.
I don't even drink because it's too expensive. No.
I don't drink either. Tony drinks for all of
Yeah,
us.
Tony drinks for all of us.
And I gotta say, the one song I actually like off that album is actually Cerebral Seth.
Okay.
We got a story behind that one.
So you want to know the story?
I mean, you know what? We brought it up, and we have a lot of listeners right now. I'm pretty sure they want to hear it too. So all I gotta say is definitely shoot if you want to tell the story.
So when we were a three-piece, Fat by the Gallon, it was me, Stephen Ray was the drummer, and Travis Robecky was the guitarist, and I played bass. And Travis came to practice one day and was like, hey, there's been a First 48 episode that's come out. It's about, this guy who, was in a relationship with this other guy and chopped him up, and, his body remains were in the bathtub. That's all they found. It's pretty great. It's crazy. Can we cuss on here?
Oh, we're completely uncensored. Definitely swear away.
Fuck. Okay. Yeah. So it's pretty fucked
I know it's
up.
pretty fucking sweet, eh?
So he's telling me, he's telling me this story, and I'm like, okay, and he's like, dude, he's like, that's my stepbrother, and that's like the dude who got him into music was the guy who murdered the guy. So he got locked up, but so when Travis
And it turns out,
hold on, I'll get there.
Okay.
So Travis tells me that we wrote. Just from him telling me that story, me and Steve, our drummer, wrote a song that night and didn't want to show it to him because we would be like, fuck, just how I interpreted that in my head, or in our heads. And then, so we're recording at Tony's house, and Tony's like, man, I like that song, and go ahead.
well, he told me the story about it, and it turns out I was in jail with that dude. I served him food. I was like, oh, we called him Samurai Seth.
Samurai Seth.
In jail was his nickname.
So, yeah, it's crazy story.
He was in
Circle of
solitary.
life kind of thing.
But yeah, I was like, wow, we know the same people.
Right.
Small world.
Yeah. Circle of 30 to life.
But yeah, it was cool. It was funny. But Travis loved the song too, by the way. So he didn't, he wasn't upset with us,
So yeah.
Wow.
And before we move off the topic of that album, guys, I do have to ask, because obviously next year, and it's crazy to think this, that next year that album's going to be 10 years. Do you guys have any plans to actually re-release like a 10th anniversary edition? Or since you guys got all new members and Fat by the Gallon is going strong, do you guys think you might recreate that album for a 10th anniversary?
I think we're already like, I mean, it is a good idea. We always talk about like doing vinyl, like one side, because those were EPs, so maybe, but to me, like we're already halfway through a follow-up, right now. So we're just writing and, producing, and we'll get into the studio. So hopefully we just do another full length. That's our plan. New stuff.
Yeah.
10 years?
10 years.
Yeah.
Looking tough.
I gotta say, boys, if it feels like yesterday that it was 2016, now we're looking at next year is 2026, and it's like, damn,
That's insane.
like that decade flew.
Yeah, that
It's insane.
But also, as I mentioned during the intro of this interview, you guys are currently signed to SBAM Records. I was wondering, how did you guys actually get discovered by that label? And of course, so far, how is it actually like working alongside them? Because SBAM has so many so many amazing bands currently signed under them.
Okay, well, so we met them. So you start that.
Yeah, so Stefan reached out to us when Drunken Despondent came out, actually. That's funny that you mentioned that because he reached out to us on, I think it was Facebook, and was like, hey, you know, I do artwork and blah, blah, blah. And so I sent him, you know, okay, we got a record, or, you know, we want to do this. And also, if you want to check that out. But yeah, give me prices for this. And we couldn't afford his art back then. You know, we really wanted to, but we couldn't afford it. So we did it. And, but what we got a show with, who's breathing? We got a show with, what was that? The Living End, the Draculas. And so Stefan did a flyer for us then. I hit him up for a flyer. And then after that, I just have been hounding him. So every time we record something, I'm like, hey, check this out. And then
So what we finally in 2000, it was right before COVID, was it
19.
2019? So right before COVID, he invited us to go play the festival over there in Austria, and we were super pumped. And so we became pretty good friends with Teenage Bottle Rocket, you know, over the course of a few years. And Miguel invited us out, so we were actually able to go tour Europe for the first time with Teenage Bottle Rocket, and that ended at Stefan's festival. And while we were there, we were kind of talking with Stefan, and I do filmmaking on the side, and me and my producing partner Rolo, we're working on a documentary about punk rock with Stefan right now. And over the course of doing that, he had been mentioning, you know, the band and this and that, and you guys need to come back out. And we kind of put the bug in his ear. It was like, oh, well, we'd love to work with you. And that kind of planted that seed. And I think we just kind of bugged him enough to where he kind of checked out the album and was like, yeah, he's totally down. And I wouldn't say that there's a lot of hands-on with what they're doing per se, but they have been supportive in everything that we've been wanting to do and how we want to go about and do things, you know. There's no oversight in, like, you know, how the album should sound or be or artwork or anything. It's just kind of, hey, this is what we got, and he's like, okay.
the only what did we got a reaction from him when we sent him, we had an EP, and he was like, you guys should do a full length. So he dug it enough and told us that we should do a full length. And so we did, you know.
That's been his one note.
So that was cool.
Like, give me a full length.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, we can do that.
We can do that. So
And when you said a few moments ago that you're currently working on a punk rock documentary, I know it's obviously still in the works, so you can't let too many cats out of the bag. But just digging into that for a brief moment, can you tell us a little bit more about that documentary? And of course, when is it kind of set to be released, if you guys do have a tentative release date?
So not to take away from what the band's doing right now, but it's called DIY, The Rise and Fall and Rise of Punk Rock, and it's basically kind of chronicling punk rock from, I would say, like the mid 80s, you know, the start of Brett Gurewitz, the Epitaph, the whole pop punk movement, and it kind of just, you know, kind of traces the lineage kind of where we're at now and where punk is and kind of the lasting effects that it's had on, you know, music and culture and fashion. And we're, like I said, I think possibly summer we're going to start dropping things for it. We're kind of submitting for film festivals right now. And so as soon as we get something like that, I think that's when we're planning on maybe to announce it, you know, but you're kind of the first one we've been kind of actually talked to about it. So.
yeah, I was gonna say, are you allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I know we can, but like I said, you know, like there's a lot of cool things pending, and just to kind of list off, we got like we talked to Brett Gurewitz, we talked to Fat Mike, we talked to Aaron Burkett, you know, who used to, you know, be the head of Fat Records with Mike and stuff like that. John Ross Bowie from The Big Bang Theory, Fred Armisen, you know, from Portlandia and Wednesday, John Feldman from Goldfinger, Thomas Ian Nicholas from American Pie, because, you know, Blink-182 was in that. Moby, because Moby used to be in a punk rock in the 90s and stuff like that. So we got like a lot of really cool people in it, and oh man, I'm really excited to say stuff more about it. But yeah, I think I've sold enough.
I'll say it's rad. I've seen it.
They've seen cuts, and I know he's seen the newest one.
It's rad.
You know, and like I said,
Man, you didn't let one cat out of the bag. You let the whole litter out, man. Hell yeah.
Like I said, it's gonna be cool, man. I'm really pumped for when that comes out. That'll be a whole other endeavor with Stefan. That's just gonna be like,
Hell yeah.
cool. We've been doing the band thing, and now we have this movie thing, and I don't know. Maybe he'll christen my kids or something.
And with all the interviews you currently have, is there actually one person or one band that you do want to get that's kind of like on that dream list to kind of really include in this documentary?
Not to out anybody for like a bad thing. There's a few people that like, were. I'm a drummer. I'm a punk rock drummer, and I'm always gonna be a fan of Travis Barker. And he's always on my list of just like, I wish we could have like Travis Barker, or like a Mark Hoppus, or like a Billy Joe from Green Day, or something like that. Like one of those like really mega like stadium bands. Because not to say that Bad Religion or the Circle Jerks or anything like that are not big bands within the genre. But one of those bands that transcends punk rock and is like mainstream. Like I always use the gauge, like if my mom's heard of them, then that's probably like a pretty big like artist. She knows Green Day, she knows Blink, but she doesn't know who the hell Propaganda or Lagwagon is.
Just from all your shirts.
Yeah, right.
I definitely agree with that. I went to Authority Zero in Belvedere a few months back, and I actually called my mom and told her that I was going, and she's like, "Who the hell are they?" And I'm just like, "Are you serious?" But yet, I got tickets for Blink when they were in Toronto, and she's like, "Oh, have fun at the Blink show. Tell me if they play all the small things." And I'm just like, "Of course they'll play all the small things." Like,
you gotta play the hits.
Shout out to Authority Zero. Authority Zero is bad.
oh man, that was probably the best punk rock show I've actually been to, dude. Like I jumped in that mosh pit and I realized that I can't do this shit anymore. Like I woke up the next day with bruises and I was just like looking at myself. I'm like, fucking worth it.
Yeah, they're fun. How old are you?
I'm in my 30s, man. But no, it's fucking hurt, dude.
Well, you're doing better than us. I'm 40.
We're old.
I'm in our 40s. I just turned 40, but yeah.
I will admit, my first mosh pit was when I was in my teens, and I didn't do another one until I was in my 30s. So that was a big jump, man.
Hell yeah! Gotta keep the dream alive, man. Keep it going. Keep it mobile. Keep it mobile.
Keep the hips loose.
Keep the hips loose.
A lot of echo in here.
But also as well, guys, July 26, 2024, you actually released your 10-track album titled Ward Stories. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about your most recent album, and of course, where can we actually snag ourselves a copy of this killer record today?
Well, SBAM is pressing vinyl, so that'll be coming soon. Should have test pressings, pretty soon. It's right now you can find it on all any streaming services and stuff like that. We're trying to get some vinyl out, so we may press it too, so we're definitely wanting to get it out.
But it is on Spotify.
It's
and
on
all the digital platforms.
All the platforms.
So just biding our time for a physical.
But yeah, so your question about the record, I mean it. Basically, when we became a three-piece, we just started writing, and we were writing songs. We went into our studio to demo. What do we have? 11. We had 11.
We did like 11 or 12 songs,
and then we threw all away except for
2.
Yeah, 2 out of that 11, right?
Yeah, because not that they were bad songs, but they were just kind of more. I want to just say like more 90s SoCal straight ahead, like pop punk, they were just, double time and this and that. And after losing Colton as a member, we had to kind of reevaluate, because, a lot of the songs that he sang, we didn't want to play anymore kind of thing, because just wouldn't have sounded right, and the way everything, how we were writing at the time, what we were feeling. So when we wrote those 12, we just kind of picked 2 that were like, this best represents us. And I want to say that there's like a little bit of Texas in there.
And then all of a sudden, all these other songs just started popping out, quick. And then actually, that's when it happened. We started writing more songs, and then we were like, okay, we can do better than these 11 or 9, and we trashed them.
Well, I think that's exactly what it was we've kind of developed a really cool formula now where Tony and Cutler, Chris will they write a bunch of lyrics and they figure a bunch of stuff out that way, melodies and whatnot. And but Cutler started bringing us a bunch of songs that were written on the acoustic first, and they were coming off with more twang and more folk and
campfire.
Yeah, campfire, more Chris Christopherson songwriting. You know what I mean? And I think we just kind of started embracing that a little bit more and transitioning that like, cool, that's a great acoustic riff. Well, put it to electric, let's speed it up, and then let's figure out a way to play fast, but not just do the stereotypical, I mean, I love No Effects, and I love that, that double time beat and Lagwagon and Propaganda, but we're old. That's hard to play.
Well, I mean, I think what happened is nothing intentional really. It was just influences, and I don't know. I feel like there's multiple influences there to just kind of fit any jar, right? Mm-hmm. And we felt like these songs were really good. We're stoked to play them and to hear them. Like after we recorded them. So we love it. We love this record.
And I gotta say as well, the record is absolutely phenomenal, man.
Thank you.
To the Choppers is such a killer song, man. I know you guys pretty much probably got inspired that from Arnold Schwarzenegger, but still, man, I love it.
Yeah.
We originally had a filler name on there as Take My Hand, and these dudes were like, take my hand to the chopper. And then so we changed it to the chopper. They said it should be to the chopper.
The chopper. Which is funny. We usually have joke names for songs, and then before the album we'll make them the real names, and that throws me off. And I know it throws Tony off because it's like, what song is that? And we have to go back to the joke name, and then that one, the real name, actually got pushed to the side, and the joke name came.
But thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And those two songs that you said you actually took off, and I know you said that briefly that you're currently working on a new album. Are those two songs you took off, Ward? Are they actually going to be on the new album, or are these just two songs you completely scrapped?
Oh no, we completely scrapped 9 songs. We kept.
No, we scrapped 10.
No, so we had 12. Yeah, okay. So we kept Whiskey Breath and Letting Go. Those were like the first 2 things that we had. From that batch, that's the only things we took away. We were like, because we started writing these other songs, and we're like, holy shit.
But we had a pretty saucy tune about a pet rock that
we did.
Might come back around.
Yeah, I mean, we may do, we have it.
So from Wart Stories, the first song that was written from it would be Whiskey Breath. And it was Whiskey Breath, was that same night?
No.
They basically had like an Adderall fueled night where they stayed up till like I think 3 or 4 in the morning.
I don't think we went to sleep.
I don't think they went to sleep. They wound up writing a bunch of songs, and Whiskey Breath was like the birth of like, oh, this is the band now. Like this is what it is. So this guy decides to send Fat Mike an email. Did you text him or email him? Oh, he texted him at like 4 in the morning. So I guess
our time.
I guess LA it's like 2 in the morning, so that's not too bad.
Yeah.
It was like, just check this out. And
check out the song.
Yeah, no. Did he say anything back?
Not about that one, but he did.
Well, so then later on, we wound up sending him the record when it was done. They're like, hey, maybe Fat Mike wants to put this out, And so we sent it to Fat Records, and he sent it around the office. And what was the consensus?
That was Jackass.
That's right. That was
we didn't. No, we just sent it to him to listen to this time. Yeah, no, that was Jackasses.
But what did he say about the other one?
He said
it was decent.
It was decent.
Oh
at
yeah,
best.
decent at best.
Yeah. So we were gonna name this record "Decent at Best" actually originally, but sorry, we get going all over the place.
I gotta say though, it's pretty cool that Fat Mike at least gave you a response. I mean, decent at best. It's like, you know what? At least he didn't say it was like bad. So I mean, it wasn't too bad of a response.
Yeah. No, we appreciate it. We've had a chance to play with them too. So yeah, we love those guys. So Rick,
was pretty decent.
And speaking of playing with legends, April 25th of 2025, you guys will be taking the stage alongside Chaser and 30 Foot Fall at Sundown out there in Dallas, Texas. I was wondering, what can your fans actually expect from this up-and-coming show? And of course, where can we actually snag ourselves some tickets today?
I don't know, man. We did the whole acoustic set today. Sounded pretty good, so we might just change directions again.
Do something
completely different.
Yeah. They can expect some new versions of new songs that they still haven't heard yet.
No.
Live.
Yeah, you then get tickets at Granada. What's their website? Yeah, GranadaTheater.com probably.
And is it Seth at Granada? Seth? Shout out to Seth at Sundown at Granada, man, because that venue, like, not only is the show going to be great, but that venue is just really, really awesome. Like, I really do enjoy playing there. It's not a stereotypical like punk rock venue, so that's a little left of what you would expect, I guess. But it's just a really good environment.
We have
a
the
really
best.
cool place.
We had the best Tuesday night a couple weeks ago there with Agent Orange.
Oh,
It
dude.
was
Was it sold
amazing.
out? I think it was almost sold out.
I mean, it might as well have been the amount of bodies that were in there on a Tuesday night. It was rad.
So knowing that like knowing like Chaser's gonna be there and then
30-foot fall. We're stoked about the lineup.
yeah.
Chaser, we had a chance to run into them at Spam Fest, and obviously Spam homies and Spam fam. Their record's badass. And then 30-foot fall, we did a weekender with them last year. Was that last? That was last year. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that was last year.
And we had a blast. So yeah.
Yeah, both those shows were great, man. Really good ones. I'm glad they're playing again.
Plus Sundown feeds us, so we're trying to be the house band.
Yeah.
Free food is always
Yeah,
tastes so
meals.
much better.
And also, guys, I have to ask, aside from the brand new album you guys are currently working on, and of course, this show coming up in April, what is next for Fat by the Gallon? Like, is there anything we happen to miss during this evening's interview? Anything else you guys do still want to touch on, talk about, or promote? What's got you here live on 99.9 FM tonight?
We're supposed to make a video.
Yeah, we'll be making a video. We have videos out right now. The first 2 singles. G.I. Joe Was Full of Shit, Man was our first single. So that video's out on YouTube's. And streaming services. And then To the Chopper, like you said, is out as well. We're actually, gonna knock out some more.
Yeah, I think we'll have at least two bigger videos coming out this year, then maybe a couple of smaller things, but
Yeah.
2 that are gonna be a lot of fun.
We're just gonna try to push content and push push the record, get the record pressed. Can't wait to see it on vinyl. And you can also hear both those songs on Faction Punk if you're Sirius XM subscribers, and if you're not, maybe you should be.
Ooh.
Even if you're a half committed XM subscriber.
Never heard of her.
And also, guys, before we actually part ways here tonight, I gotta ask. Obviously, I know how to follow Fat by the Gallon across all social media platforms, but for the individuals here in Canada that might just be discovering you guys tonight, how do they go about following you across all social media platforms? That way they can stay updated on the new album and, of course, up and coming shows as well.
OnlyFans?
Oh yeah.
Only bands.
Instagram, Fat by the Gallon, at Fat by the Gallon, Facebook, Fat by the Gallon. We have a website for people who like that. All our shows are posted on there, reviews, we just put them up there. Our record's on there, it's on Bandcamp too.
What is it?
Fatbythegallon.com, what do you mean?
Well, that's what
Fatbythegallon.com.
Fatbythegallon.com.
That's the good thing about Fat by the Gallon. If somebody wants to find it, they can just Google search it.
Now, if you Google it, you get like buckets of lard and things like that.
That's like 4
That's
pages. That's
You get a lot. You get a lot of.
we're trying to get
A lot
more
of
answers.
Type that in, go to Google page 10, and then keep going. That's when the fun starts.
We're 40-year-old TikTokers too.
Mhm.
So far, our biggest video was of a snake drool on my patio with a copperhead and a remote control snake. So you can check that out.
That's good.
It's like, it's funny.
Where you can see Butler's 2 and Charlie's.
Bitch. They're bigger than that. I got twin MCLs, man. MCL.
One time we killed a spider.
They're making fun of my skating. Whatever. Yeah, thanks though.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, guys, thank you for a bit of your time. It was such an honor speaking with you guys. Hopefully, when the new album comes out, we can get you guys back on and do this all over again. But for now, again, thank you guys so much for giving not only myself but the radio station airways a bit of your Sunday. It was such an honor speaking with Texas's own.
Man, we
Yeah,
really
thanks, man.
appreciate
We'll be
you.
escaping across the border soon to come and see you.
Absolutely.
Hey, you just let me know when, and I'll make sure I snag some tickets, man. Because I think I definitely need to see a Fat by the Gallon show, man. So if you guys get over to Canada and you guys do the show, I'll be there creating mosh pits and creating havoc.
Right on. That's enough for us to come. So we'll be at your door in, quick.
Hey, make sure you guys come in the summertime, though, because, I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want to come over here when it's Canadian winter. Winter sucks here in Canada, so just come for a summer date, man.
Absolutely. And Miguel's in Canada now too, so we'll go see him too. Yeah. And Shuko. Yeah. Thank you again, man. Appreciate
Hey,
it.
you're most certainly welcome, guys. Thank you so much again for your time. We definitely shall talk again here soon. But for now, have yourselves a phenomenal night.
Hey,
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.